My name is Ms. Workman and I teach creative writing at the Shipley School. This year, all of our students created a video of themselves reading their favorite piece. We hope that you enjoy their videos. Thank you and enjoy.
The collision of myself. I'm from the sun garden. We're always facing the east and ready for the first sunlight in the morning. I'm from the kingdom of sunflowers. Doesn't need much water, but has the most preserving body. I'm from the green grass soaked in sweat, aiming for the one only small ball from a group of 22 people. I'm from the white angels running for medical treatments with my only healthy leg, jumping around trying to get used to it, falling constantly, but always pick myself up from where I fall. I'm from somewhere that I'm not belong to, surrounded with people that have different eye colors, that speak different languages, hiding myself in a corner with shadow, not knowing what to do. I'm from the new advancing airplane, traveling often between two places that are 10,000 miles apart, battling with different ideas, trying to pursue for an absolute truth in this world, hoping to find out the purpose of my life. I'm from so many places, but still thinking where I'm from.
Hi, my name is Mercy Lacani, and I'll be reading my piece called Past the Walls. I'm from brick row houses where the walls were puke orange and the kitchen was green. I'm from rough carpets, that soft, multicolored sofa, and the tall, stacked bookcases. I'm from forcing my new shiny shoes to fit, and the creative braids and Tylenol. I'm from mom's romantic floral Amari perfume on her shirt collar. I'm from the work hard, then work harder, and the heavy steps that dad makes at night. I'm from the roaring laughter and desperate tears with hands high up to heaven. I'm from rotating guests of people where every step smells like strung tomatoes and basil. I'm from flavored rice and with foods that are named twice, from guzzling down water and panting. I'm from wishing I had a flashlight because under my pillow there's a new adventure waiting for me every night. I am from loud voices that bounced off the walls and sitting in corners with blurry vision. I'm from the shaking, hearing it go swish swish, then unleashing a surprising spray on the little pest, immobilizing it from moving any further. That nose-scorching smell pressured us out of the room, one by one. I think I'm from my old house in Brentwood and Callaway, but I'm reminded almost every day that I'm really from another place far away. Thank you.
This is my I Want poem called Reflect, Don't Rush. I want to go back, to reset my clock, to revisit, relive, and revive a prior era. Days of innocence, naivete, and gap-toothed smiles. I want to again experience how grass stains on clothes slowly fade into blush stains on cheeks. What it feels like to go from a child to no longer a child, but not yet an adult. I look on my later years of childhood and feel somewhat satisfied, but there was so much more I could have done. But maybe there wasn't more I could have done. Maybe I did do it all right. Maybe I'm like every other child nearing the end of the years at home, questioning and contemplating whether it was all enough. I want to go back in my neon room, see my wide-eyed reflection as I slowly apply $3 drugstore mascara, laughing with others attempting to shriek out the high-pitched chorus of a Rihanna hit. I wish I had lived those moments and every day to notice the little things, instead of rushing along the funeral of my childhood. But maybe I hadn't rushed it. Maybe time fled at a constant, comfortable speed, and I'm just the one who has trouble moving on. As childhood fell through my fingers like liquid, it gathered in a perfect, glossy white box, tied with a gleaming white ribbon. My pure innocence sparkled back at me as I closed the box's lid and sent it away forever. All I want is for this box to be stamped with my childhood address and to be returned to me. I want to stay here. I want to freeze time and never go back nor leave this moment, to indulge in the freedom and liberties of a 17-year-old, to never change the life I live today, and to leave what I have left untouched. As I drive past the grass that once gave me stains, and an old friend's house where I haven't stepped in years, I still play those Rihanna hits, embracing my past. But this time, the lyrics mean something different. I'm not sure if I wish I misunderstood them like I did before, or if I enjoy the newfound real, raw significance of the music. I want to know that those who love me now will love me forever, that my connections and bonds will never loosen or snap like a rubber band held too far too long. I hold my remaining fragments of innocence tightly to my chest, in fear that they may also leave. But do I want to remain trapped between innocence and age? The world was simpler when ignorance held my hand, when I had no idea there was anything but the purity of the world I lived in. I want to stay the way I am, the way I have become. To never lose a drop of the maturity I've mustered, but never create a drop more. To never feel blinded by the darkness that hides life's truths, but to never feel overwhelmed with the light that reveals every crevice and crack in something I once thought was perfect. I prefer living in my half-lit cave, a place and a time of teenage growth and rebellion where I can let the light expose the truths I want to see, but I can also force darkness to shadow the realities I still need to hide from myself. I currently keep myself locked away deep in the burrows of my closet inside my second box, a glossy white one. However, this one is tied with a matte black ribbon. A fraction of my original adolescence hides itself here, while shadows of adulthood begin to creep in. I'm scared that with the age and dirt that accompanies life and time, this box will slowly fade from its pure white shade into a darker gray. I want this box with me forever, untouched. I want to see the two boxes coexist. Some days I call out for the pure white lit innocence, while others I'm content with the gray straggling pieces of my purity. I want to come to peace with the innocence that has left me, mourn it, and open my arms wide to incoming adulthood, a rebirth and revolution of my thoughts and feelings. I want to paint over those neon walls, I do, but every time I try, I stop myself. I hold on. Although what stays in the past has no way of opening to the future, I incorporate all pieces of me into the current and forever me. But what I've had has said goodbye. What I have is slipping by, and all I have left is an attempt to try. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison Block, and today I'm going to be reading my piece called The Dark Side of the Moon. Time seemed to slow down under the sound of the crunch of the headlights as I felt the car suddenly tilt. I looked over at my friend next to me, wincing in pain as she peeled herself off the side of the seat. It was my 15th birthday, and we had all come from a dinner celebration in the city. It had been a while since I had thrown a big event for my birthday, since the winter date always coincided with finals or big midterm projects. The past couple of years, I had resorted to a party of ordering takeout and doing homework. This year, my mom suggested I take a few friends to dinner in the city, as I was in high school now and it seemed like a fun and mature teenager thing to do. I was giddy with the thought of having an extravagant event planned. The dinner was what I dreamed it would be, my friends all enjoying our time together, almost disruptive with how loud we cackled at each other. For the first time in my life, I felt like an independent and sophisticated high schooler. After dinner, all 5 of us got in my mom's car and we headed home. My brother in the passenger seat was designated DJ. He cycled through a playlist of Hannah Montana and High School Musical songs as we all screamed the lyrics. I called for a song from the Mulan soundtrack, I'll Make a Man Out of You. The intense first measures fueled our inner warriors as we all shouted the chorus at each other. Be a man, we must be swift as the coursing river, with all the strength of a great typhoon. We pulled up to the intersection just as the peak of the chorus hit, and we all yelled at the top of our lungs, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Just as we held out the final note, I heard my mom from the driver's seat exclaim something like, "Hold on, girls." I felt the impact of the collision jolt the car to the side and heard the crunching of the hood of the car buckling and the shattering of the glass from the headlight as my mom pulled over to the side of the road. I looked at my friends in the row in front of us, eyes wide with innocent bewilderment, and then to my brother, face crumpling in terror as he began to cry. I tried to make sense of what had happened as my mom called my father with a voice all too calm and told him the news. Some lady had had too much to drink and blew the red light. My chest tightened and my head began to spin. My mind tried to grab something familiar, something stable, but everything seemed to be an awry. I watched as the woman's words came out disorderly and her sentences indecipherable. She seemed just as disassociated as the rest of us. Like the dark side of the moon, the rest of the memory comes in phases. One is watching my father shield his eyes from the headlights as he held my distraught brother, almost bent in half as he cried into his chest. The other is driving my friends home in silence as we stared holes into the car seats in front of us, stunned from the incident we all witnessed. Now that I've recently turned 18 and am finishing my final year of high school, it's shocking to look back and realize how much of the song that was playing in the moment applies to the time after the accident. It took the strength of a raging fire for both me and my friends to learn to trust our environments again. The event taught me that life can throw world-altering events at you when you least expect it. There were times where watching someone pull up next to us at an intersection would make me flinch. Learning to drive became a matter of both patience and courage, to learn that me being able to hold myself responsible would keep me from harming others. Now I know myself to be the mature high schooler I once thought I was back then, even if it took all of high school for me to accomplish. Even though the event left me with some scary memories, I have come to appreciate that it has made a man out of me by allowing me to trust myself and gain courage I never knew I had, as I move past what was once a roadblock and bloom into a self-assured, capable person. Thank you.
This piece is called Hazan marinara sauce. When I get that sinking, anxiety-ridden feeling in my stomach, there's only one way to cope: marinara sauce. I make loads of it. It takes 3 hours to simmer, and I relieve any stress from the day. Today, I decided not to do my homework and make a big pot of marinara sauce. My college decision comes out in a few short hours, and I can't relax enough to roll my shoulders back into place. First, it's garlic, oil, onion, and celery. Next, it's beef. I keep repeating to myself. I need to get my mind off of school. My thoughts must go back to the marinara sauce. I dump garlic into the pot and wait for the sizzle to fill my ears. The smell of garlic and onions cooking on a stove can make any man fall in love with you, my grandma used to say. Well, I think that statement is sexist and old-fashioned. She has a point. It smells delicious. As I let myself get absorbed with a simple-minded task, I allow myself a deep breath while humming along to the music playing in the background. Staying alive. I sing the familiar, cheerful tune while chopping the onions. Each onion I chop feels like a different problem I'm executing. My stress, my homework, with every chop, one by one, my problems seem to become smaller. Despite being invested in my activity, I glance down at my phone and notice it is 7 o'clock, the time when my decision will come out. My stomach plummets and I start to vibrate all over. I put the heat down to simmer and place my wooden spoon over the edge of the sink. Over the past couple of weeks, I have tried my best not to think about this impending decision, but now I simply cannot ignore it. My phone seems to be staring right into my soul. Open me, it screams, and you will finally know the truth. I lunge for my phone and start to dial my mom. The frantic way I am moving feels disconnected to my thoughts. I cannot control the pounding in my head and my twitching. Mom, pick up, I yell, my voice shaking. After my 30th text and my 4th voicemail, I decide to leave her alone. Neither of my parents are home, but my mom wanted to be there when I opened the email. I can't wait, I thought. I cannot wait another goddamn second. Besides, I reasoned with myself, she had been given almost a week's notice, and I will be home alone for the next 2 hours. Can I control my ever-present thoughts in this barren house? The answer is no. I really can't. Looking around at the empty kitchen, my pasta sauce boiling sweetly in the background, I realize I have to do this now. But I don't want to be alone. Dad, oh my God, I yell as my father picks up the phone. What, sweetie? He replies. Boston University sent me an email. I know my decision is in my college portal. Oh my God. I don't want to be alone right now, so will you stay on the other line? Yes, of course. I look down once more and open the link in my email. Confetti lights up the screen. I got in! All I can hear is my own blood rushing in my head and my dad's laughter in the background. I have to call Mother. I slam my thumb down on the end call button and ring my mom 8 more times with no luck. My heart feels lighter than it has in years. Suddenly, without realizing it, I feel hot tears on my cheeks when I notice I've been loudly sobbing for the past several minutes. The happiness overwhelms me and bubbles up when I recognize that my shoulders can finally roll back into place. My phone starts to ring and I answer immediately. Honey, you called me 20 times. Is everything all right? My mother's voice rings through the phone. I got in, I sob. She knows exactly what I'm talking about and starts screaming, alerting everyone in a 20-feet presence about how proud she is of her daughter. Oh, honey, I'm so happy. I can't believe it, she spits as she also starts to cry. Guess we gotta crack open the champagne tonight. I let my laughter rise to the surface and escape my lips. I walk over to the boiling pot of marinara sauce and start to open the next ingredient, the bottle of wine. As I pour the bottle of wine into the meat sauce, I recognize that the task I am doing has changed. I am no longer making marinara sauce to escape my stressful life. I am now stirring and tasting for my pure enjoyment. Besides, every accomplishment needs a celebratory dinner. Thank you.
Piece is called Split Identity. I am from my mother. I am from waves crashing on jagged rocks, sharp barnacles and scraped knees, from steaming paella and burnt mouths eager for more. I am from pool water so cold your heart stops, the brick of the deck warming my back as the Spain sun drapes itself over me. From walks to a ponte, chocolate croissants, and orange juice. I am from the crowded beach of Silgar, from the statue of La Sirena, which one day I hope to swim to, if I overcome my suffocating fear of water. I am from my father. I am from cornfields and beef cattle, the stench of manure and hay. From the bones of deserted barns, American flags waving in the wind. I'm from sweet corn and fish, from the shallow pond up the mountain. I am from the saddles of the horses, hung on the barn walls, the giant machinery parked, stowed away, dust gathering. I am from deer hunting, barrels of guns I will never grasp, innocent lives I will not take. From fireflies and horseflies, one caught at dusk, one with a stinging bite. I am from 2 worlds, an ocean apart. I am La Americana in my pandilla, and the Spaniard at the farm. My identity split.
This is called Lucky Number 3. I'm from white lines to keep working, a needle to dull the pain, clear liquid in a glass that tastes like fire and feels like heaven. I'm from cigarettes and late night TV, a nicotine buzz and Johnny Carson. I'm from a blue-collar job, a used Pinto, the occasional restaurant meal. I'm from Oxnard's strawberry fields, a sea of red against clear California sky. I'm from Santa Clara Church, sweet communion wine, bland cracker, body and blood of Christ. I'm from drives with Neil, Bruce, Tom, and Joni. I'm from guitar riffs and drum solos, crowds and sweat and a ringing in your ears. I'm from a ticket stub signed by each member of the Clash. I'm from the streets of Nevi, Vespa rides and rich European espresso, from Coke served in a glass without ice. I'm from a house on Via Sant'Ilario, filled with children who needed it. Not a soul speaks English. I'm from Chef Tell's, with its white tablecloths and polished silverware. I'm from a waiter and a hostess, having their first date at the Four Seasons even though money is tight. I'm from 2 positive pregnancy tests, new life and new hope. I'm from tears in the doctor's office, siblings I will never know. I'm from the 3rd try.
Hello everyone, I am Angeline Jang from Creed Writing Honors. Today I'm reading one of my own poems called Run, Angeline, Run. I'm from a pair of sneakers. Sometimes Nikes and Adidas, other times Converses and Vans, but most times Asics and Brooks. From sports bras and leggings, white crossback tanks, soaked with sweat. I'm from the Temple Run, only those devils are my own shadows. If I tripped and fell, those shadows would clutch me, drain me down into a black abyss, cold as icebergs, soundless, motionless. I strain my every nerve, breathing heavily, clenching my frail, half-paralyzed fists, pushing against an invisible current, striving for life. I jump back in the game, running to live, living to run. I'm from the lonely tracks, scorching sunshine, red rubbers and dry air, heart pumping along with the strides, each step beating towards freedom. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.
This is called diagnosis. Okay, so if there's 100 calories in a banana, and 150 in peanut butter, and 120 in cereal, that means I've eaten 100 plus 150 plus 120, which is 300, huh? I blink and stare at my hands, watching them shake. I can feel the strap of my backpack against my legs, and I chew on my lip as I think of the homework that needs to be done. My feet brush my carpeted floor, and my elbows press into the wood of my desk. 300, wait, 100 in the banana, and 150, and 120, which, okay, that's 300, huh? I lean down, open my backpack, and tug out my binder. My hands shake, and my breathing feels weird as I flip to the middle and remove my essay. When I sit back up, spots appear, and the top half of my head feels like it's drifting away into space. I close my eyes, open them, and then place the essay on my desk. 200 plus some amount. It was 120. Wait, that's wrong. The letters on the page confuse the numbers in my head. I stare at my English teacher's orange pen that had put an X over almost everything I'd written. I can feel rumbling in my stomach, which reminds me to keep adding 300, no, 200, huh? Where did that come from? I can't think straight if I don't eat, but I can't. I hear footsteps on the stairs. Please go away. My mom knocks on my door and opens it. It's time for dinner. Could you please come and help me bring everything to the table? I'm not hungry, I reply. Well, you can come down and talk then. My mom puts her hand in the pocket of her jeans. I have a lot of work to do. Can I just stay up here? I lay my head down on my desk. You left your lunch dishes on the counter. At least could you please come and stick them in the dishwasher? Those aren't mine. I didn't have lunch. My mom turns and then says, Come down. We have to talk about your English essay. And there's something else. I chew on my lip. I'm really right in the middle of something. Come on, up. No, don't ask me any questions. I don't want to see the food. I need to be able to think. There's too many calories. I need to be able to think for this stupid essay. I stand up, and the spots and the floating head sensation reappear. I walk across my room and follow my mom down the stairs, placing each shaking foot carefully. I sit down at the table. My mom brings over plates of food, and I feel my stomach rumble again, but I chew on my lip and stare at the hamburgers, one on each dish. Maybe it would be good if I ate something. I'd be able to think. But I can't. Too many calories. Did you tell her? My dad looks at my mom. Sort of. Molly, we received your lunch bill in the mail yesterday. My dad nods his head towards a piece of paper on the counter. It's almost empty. Oh, I chew on my lip. Are you eating lunch? My dad asks. I'm not able to eat. There's just too much happening. I need to think for my essay and about college. I'm not able to eat. There's just too much food. I'm so scared of it. Maybe I need to tell them I can't. They'll make me eat. I need to eat. I'm not hungry most days. You have field hockey, though. My dad gestures towards my green and black field hockey stick and green backpack, tossed on the ground amid stray turf beads. Doesn't that make you hungry? No. Molly, my dad looks sideways at me. I heard about your crazy running programs that you have to do in practice. Seriously, what's going on? Nothing. As I reach up to play with my braid, my hands shake. Why are your hands shaking? My mom asks. My eyes widen, and I look down at the hamburger on my plate. Come on, what's up? Nothing. I pick up the plate and deposit it in the middle of the table, far enough away that I won't lose my resolve and eat the burger. Can I please go do work now? Well, we also need to talk about your essay, my dad says. And if you're not eating, it's going to make it hard to write. I'm not hungry. My mom takes a deep breath. Look. She turns her head towards my dad and then back at me. You've been saying that for too long. I didn't want to bring this up. I didn't want to upset you. She rubs her shoulder. But you said you didn't eat lunch either, and honey, you've heard of anorexia. I don't have anorexia. My elbows press hard into the table's wood. Well, then what's going on? My mom looks directly at me. I can't eat. The food is just too much. 2,000 calories a day is way too many, and I swear my arms are so fat, and I can't look at the food, but I'm so hungry, and I can't do my work, and I'm keeping track of how much I eat, and it's just too much. I want to tell you, but I can't because you'll make me eat. I chew on my lip, hoping the pain will force the tears away, back down into my tear ducts or wherever they came from so I'll never feel them again. Honey, you can tell us, my mom says. I swear there's nothing wrong. I have work to do. I hear my mom take a deep breath as I leave the kitchen and trip my way up the stairs. The banana was 100 calories, and the peanut butter was 150, and the cereal was 120, so that's 300 and...
Hey guys, it's Allison, and for my public reading, I will be reading my dialogue practice, which is entitled Just a Face. Hi, sweetie, how was the sleepover? Veronica Steele was too busy staring out the window of her mother's SUV to reply. Technically, she had heard her mother speak, but she had other things on her mind. She played with the strand of her hair as she watched the cars speed by. It was amazing. Brenna brought her sister's boombox up, and we were awake like all night playing it. Veronica giggled to herself and scratched her nose gently. It still hurt a little bit. That sounds fun, sweetheart. I hope it wasn't too inappropriate. Brenna's sister is a lot older than you, honey. Veronica shifted in her seat and spoke quietly. Brenna's sister was there, actually. Her mother's eyebrows raised. Brenna's sister? She questioned. The one studying at beauty school? I thought she wasn't coming back for another month. Veronica began to play with the rubber bracelets. As long as she didn't make eye contact, everything would be fine. Out of the corner of her eye, though, she saw her mother turn around to grab something from her purse. Veronica Steele! Busted, Veronica's stomach dropped even faster than her mother's as she racked her brain, trying to formulate a response that would result in the least amount of trouble possible. I didn't do anything. Her mother's eyes narrowed. Don't play dumb with me, Missy. I thought we talked about stuff like this. What will your teachers at school say? Veronica shut her eyes tight. She tensed up, knowing what was coming, and braced for the worst. I didn't do it, Mom. Then who did? It wasn't the nose-piercing fairy. Veronica choked out. Brenna's sister. The SUV slowed to a halt as the pair pulled into their spacious three-car garage. Instead of turning around to face her daughter, Veronica's mother focused her line of sight on the dirty tennis ball hanging from an air duct, indicating where the car should be parked. Meanwhile, Veronica tried her hardest to fight off the tears pricking at the corner of her eyes. Her mother inhaled sharply and pinched the bridge of her nose. I want to know why you would do something like this, Veronica. It's not like you. That was all it took. What once were a few lone tears became endless tracks, creeping out of Veronica's eyes like angry alligators from a murky brown swamp. The silence was broken by Veronica's harsh, raspy cries as she hunched over in her seat, body shaking with every sob. As Veronica cried, her mother began to think through the past few weeks. Deep down, she knew that Veronica hadn't been acting like herself for about a month. Her face softened as things began to click into place. Does this have anything to do with all the band t-shirts you wanted to buy a week ago? Veronica's face was still hidden, but her cries began to subside. Maybe. And your sudden desire to wear all black and dye your hair? Maybe. Her mother smirked. And your sudden affinity for loud music that makes your mother crazy? Veronica picked up her head and tried to stifle a laugh as she wiped her tears. It's not that loud, you know. Her mother turned around and gave Veronica a tissue and a pat on the head. If you wanted to change it up a little bit, you could have just asked. Wait right here. Huh? With that, Veronica's mother unclasped her seatbelt and got out of the car, leaving Veronica alone with her thoughts. Why wasn't her mother angry? She seemed unhappy at worst. She couldn't understand why she was being let off the hook so easily. Her train of thought was interrupted by the SUV door opening once again. Veronica's mother had returned, this time holding a faded black jean jacket with loads of patches and pins adorning the lapels and collars. It looked a little dusty, as though it hadn't been worn for years. Veronica's jaw dropped. What is that? Veronica's mother smiled and placed the jacket over her daughter's small shoulders. It's a little big on you, but you'll grow into it. Breaking out in a grin, Veronica pulled the jacket snug around her small frame and ran her fingers over the many carefully embroidered patches. I love it, but what's Grateful Dead? Veronica's mother giggled. Let me show you. I think you're gonna love it.
On the eve of the apocalypse. I'm from an endless line of cherry trees, pink snow blustering in May. I'm from bike rides near the gravestones, from sledding down by epitaphs. I'm from the shadow of the dogwood tree, swinging below its branches. I'm from blue plank wood held by tattered rope, these erupting from crumbling dirt castles. I'm from molasses cookies and lemonade, ice pops we didn't wait to freeze. I'm from rose bushes wrapped in Christmas lights, their warmth concealing thorns. I'm from Barbie movies and pink razor scooters, the tingling clip of metal hitting bone. I'm from question and answer concurrently bound by the chartreuse spines of Nancy Drew. I'm from walking by the man in rags in the shadow of Billy Penn's cap. I'm from never stopping and not knowing why, painfully aware that his hunger coexists with my dinner at Continental. I'm from lavender lotion and warm vanilla sugar, the syrupy breeze of a hot rainy day. I'm from strawberry cakes signed with cooling wax splatter, debris from a wish poorly spent, wasted on Ivy League dreams. I'm from a world where beauty coincides with pain, where anguish, mundanity, and grace intertwine. That I bake cookies in one hemisphere while missiles launch in another, as someone mourns in the house where another was born, is eternal, unbearable, and exquisite. I'm from watching the world spin past from the cracks between my blinds, utterly baffled by the painful glory of a graduation gown.
This is almost lost in yesterday. Although I don't remember, I'm reminded. Colicky tantrums, bouncing in my father's arms, waiting for the hum of a passing car. Mercedes, Audi, Toyota, Nissan. From still learning words while naming brands, to knowing words but forgetting the cars. The red taillights, which disappear around the curve, again and again. Some memories of my parents are just stories to me. I'm from a stuffed animal bunny man, nearly lost in the crumpled paper thrown out at the baby shower, gripping his head in just the right place, forming grooves in the once patterned cotton, so I could suck my thumb. My mom's needle that performed countless surgeries, her multicolored stitches that prevent the fuzz from peeking out, like duct tape on a leaking ship, from being afraid of the dark to remembering I was safe, his half-chewed ears and the scent of my own saliva providing a comforting reek. I'm from coming home to a new room, feeling a tinge of heartbreak, a bad first kiss, twin bunk beds with peeling stickers and chipped paint, gone forever, their rough flannel sheets worn down to silk, only to be discarded. A new, heavy comforter to go along with the queen, its weight more than physical. I am from awkward conversations that come to light in the dark, the warmth of lying face down on a pillow, letting it suffocate. Ha, did I really say that? Blood rushing to my cheeks, a modest view of one's own importance. A coach so close that to look at him meant being cross-eyed. The power of a deep breath. Tears blinked back, once with clenched fists, finally with open arms. Some things stay almost the same, affected only by time. The unavoidable piece of dog hair, more white than butterscotch colored. The same four walls that transport and take me home. The taste of mom's banana zucchini bread, and its smell that seems almost edible. The creak of steps, cadence and tempo that distinguish each family member. A stuffed animal bunny beneath my bed, comfortably tucked in, I hope, wrapped in a tattered, faded, monotone light blue baby blanket that once showed the stars.
My piece is titled, Once an Accessory, Now Turned into an Addiction. Why do my classmates wear headphones in the hallway, bulky white capsules in their ears all day, music leaking into the surrounding air, blocking their inner thoughts and fears. The sound waves rippling towards their inner eardrums, unaware of the damage that may be caused in the following years. The more I pass my peers, my judgment starts to disappear. Should I buy my own pair this year? I walk down the hallway, headphones in ear. Each and every step I take is on beat. I watch the floor move under my feet. I am in my own atmosphere, forgetting about the school year. My thoughts disappear, my serotonin is placed in high gear. This sense of inner peace feels great as I walk by my schoolmates. Why was I so pressed? What was the reason I protested my peers' zest? Was I jealous because I felt unexpressed? My search to answer my own questions remain unsolved, but I accept that as a person I have evolved. Even though I was so wrong about being appalled, it is hard to think what else my consciousness will forestall. Once an accessory, now turned into an addiction, I find myself going through a tough affliction. My pocket is empty, my heart drops into a pitfall. Adrenaline flows through my body, I find myself going through withdrawal. I forgot my headphones at home and suddenly feel frozen as stone. How could I be so naive to let my ears feel so alone? A piece of me is missing, my eardrums feel disowned. Bare to the bone, my ears wait anxiously to be filled with Post Malone.
A Change in Season by Audrey Fink. I am a bud. I have patiently waited for this dark winter to end. I yearn for the spring to bring me new life. The spring offers me purpose, while the rain feeds my soul. My ears crave the sweet songs of the morning birds. My skin is replenished by the warm humidity and cool breeze that follows. I long for the monarchs to return home, an ocean of orange wings and fresh pollen. The harmony between the crickets and the toads, the dance of the leaves as they sway in the wind. Each night, a new performance to look forward to. These nights of spring bring life to what died in the winter. You see, the feeling of spring has a serene sensation that the winter simply cannot fulfill. In the darkness of winter, I am unable to grow. I am trapped under the frozen dirt and muddy snow. The winter is my lock, while the spring is my key. While I lay beneath the ground, I am trapped. Trapped in the walls of my mind, trapped in my thoughts. My windows are shut. In my room, I can only hear what is loud enough to seep through the glass. The darkness of winter nights have become far too familiar. Closing my eyes makes no difference. Some days the sun never rises, while others I see the sun slip through the cracks of my fingers like sand. I have been told that every winter has an end. They promise me I will have my chance to bloom. They say they can help, but there's no real solution. I guess I'll have to wait for spring to pull me out from under the dirt. But for now I am just a bud, and I have yet to see what colors my petals will be. Every ounce of my body aches for the spring that follows the harsh winter, a gleam of light in the dark sky. Recently I have felt the ground become lighter, the air become warmer, the day just a sliver longer. Is it almost spring, or is it just false hope? Warm air fills my lungs. My hair flies around my face while I drive under the shadows of the trees. Oh, how I long for the spring to break out of my tight enclosure. Thank you.
Growing pains. I am from the splinter, drunkenly removed from a stranger's palm, fingers gently tracing the deep, unbroken crease beneath her Mercury's finger. I am from baby teeth, preserved in cracked porcelain boxes, the lingering odor of light blue, in pancakes before church. I am from red wellies, and whispering for the ladybird's luck. I am from the stale breath of airplanes, leaving sour saliva, the electric anticipation melting into the familiar embrace of home. I'm from the dog days of summer, bare feet slapping against smooth pavement, chasing after heat mirages. The syrupy vanilla ice cream in soggy sugar cones dripping down our sticky hands, Does she remember how quickly we lapped it up? I'm from the sharp shocks of brain freeze and collapsing onto saturated grass, cool and spongy. The cunning breeze nipping our faces, reddening cheeks and noses as the maple leaves take note. I am from fixed gazes upon shoe tips, gentle and restrained. Goodbyes that escape parted lips, twisting into strangers. I'm from becoming unfamiliar, the silent months, picking up where we left off when the leaves decide to turn green. I'm from rain that spits, the chill that creeps under flesh like frost solidifying silk cobwebs, bleak and sunless. I'm from the scratches on the tile, an empty chair dragged from the dinner table. Sugar packet solutions, candy pink paper, grainy and sweet, stuffed beneath metal legs, a temporary filler of his absence. I'm from his black coffee and cigarettes, the bittersweet perfume of platonic closeness. Our shadows, purple and humming, spilling secrets on the concrete curb. I'm from the shove in his ribs when he said he wasn't going to get old. I'm from the complete numbness when he didn't. I am from threadbare yesterdays, seeping through wine-stained lips. I am from the distorted relics, baby teeth and splinters, cigarettes and sugar, preserved by mildew and moths. I am from the intangible and the concrete, my identity sculpted by the calloused hands of contradiction.
I want time. I want to wake up at 10 o'clock to the sounds of birds chirping and the warmth of the sunlight illuminating my room. I want time to play guitar. I want time to tune every string to the perfect pitch, so when I strum my first chord, the notes mesh together in perfect harmony, and my worries with the rest of life drown in the music. I want time to compose, to let my mind wander, time to plan out every note and every lyric. Surely a song so thoughtfully created and so meticulously played would become popular. It would only take a few songs, a few days of work to make an album that's played on the radio, an album with perfectly designed lyrics, making every listener question how they spend their time. I would be, beep, 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 it's 6:50. I want to stay in bed and keep dreaming, but the day is no longer mine. The sunlight breaks the dark night sky, not a single bird. I dress myself slowly and absent-mindedly, still dreaming about harmony. I want a school day that feels like more than a broken record, and a week that feels like more than the historical introduction to a lengthy yet rushed novel. I drive to school, go to class, eat lunch, go to class again, go to practice, drive home, do my homework and eat dinner mindlessly, letting the day pass through me while my thoughts wander elsewhere. Like driving on an open highway through the desert for hours, with a favorite playlist playing in the background. When my homework is complete, I'm ready to use my mind again. Although now it's time for bed. Time to prepare, to give up my next day. To school, sports, and work. I'm not upset though. Maybe I'll dream again about time.